Howdy, Aggies, and welcome to another episode of Texas Aggies United on TexAgs, sponsored by the 12th Man Foundation. Start your tradition of support and make an impact on Aggie student-athletes by joining the 12th Man Foundation. My name is Allie Russell, sitting down with Nana Boadi-Owusu, our 12th man, guys, our 12th man in the house. And what a perfect week to have you here. I'm so excited for you to join us, so thank you for being here.
Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. So yes, of course, before we get into all the exciting talk about what lies ahead on Saturday this week, what has practice looked like so far this week, and especially today being that you guys were actually able to get after it a little bit?
Yeah. So really, and I say take this with a grain of salt, but our plan from when we started this, whether that be practice and all that, that just looks the same. So practice, the way we're practicing now is the same as we practice every week, obviously with some more intensity, but our standard and our practice like hasn't changed. You know, we just know that like our senses are more heightened. And it's not just because it's Texas, but mostly because of what's at stake. Like that's mostly what's important to us. Like when Elko first got here in January, last January, we've been talking about getting to the SEC championship and the national championship. And right now, we have the opportunity to go do that. And don't get me wrong, of course, like it just happens to be that Texas is the game too, but our priority when Elko first got here was to get to Atlanta and get to Atlanta twice. So it's more so like with that in the back of our minds, we're just trying to be more sharp. There's a sense of more urgency around practice, but in terms of what we're doing, like structure-wise, it's been the same. It's just how you do it.
Yeah.
We're doing it at a higher level than we did at the beginning of the year.
Definitely. And I feel like what's so cool and exciting, and maybe even more so special about this year, is the fact that you guys are in a place where you can make it to the SEC championship. And obviously, any new coach who comes into an environment, that's the goal.
Yeah.
But the fact that there's the potential for it in year one with a whole new team, like credit to you guys as well, and the brotherhood that y'all formed. But obviously, like the man leading it all, Elko himself, how much has he like truly poured into you guys, and especially this week, and what lies ahead and is at stake?
Well, I mean, I don't know how to I don't know how to verbalize it per se, but I think Coach Elko's biggest focus has been trying to make sure that we're focused on the task at hand, because this game is very easy to get like lost in the lights. Like there's gonna be, I don't know, over 120,000. We're gonna break the record for Caulfield. That's facts. There's gonna be college game day. There's gonna be celebrities on the sideline. There's gonna be a lot of lights and flashing to look at. But he's been honing in on like just make sure we're like tunnel vision focused on what we have to do and what our goal is and our standard. And our goal is to go win that game, get to Atlanta, win that SEC championship, win the national championship. So he's constantly making sure that that's what we're focused on, not necessarily getting into like any online drama, any pre-game chatter. Like, I mean, that's expected with a rivalry.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that we don't care about this. Like, obviously, I mean, those boys across the state, like, it's a rivalry for sure. But, like, when it's all said and done, like, we have a goal. We have a goal that's greater than just being Texas or whatever. We're trying to make history. You know what I'm saying? Be the first A&M team to get to that natty. And as well, like, be the first team to get to the SEC championship in a minute. So that's more so what he's pouring his focus onto. Like, that's what he's trying to make sure the whole team is focused on. Like, just being focused on our task and not buying into the lights and
all the
window
outside
dressing.
noise.
All the noise.
Definitely. And a big part of that, too, is how you take every week and reflect on it, whether it was a win, whether it wasn't. Obviously, this past weekend didn't result in what you guys were hoping for or what any A&M fan was hoping for. But when it comes to that reflection aspect, and now that you've had some days and as a team to look over that game, what are some of those main key factors and or focuses to ensure that y'all are ready the moment that the game starts on Saturday?
Yeah, for sure. And like you were saying, like, you know, We didn't win. But our D-line coach, Coach Tony, he says you either win or you learn. Like, you don't take losses in life. And there's a lot we had to learn from that game. I mean, good or bad, for sure there's fundamental stuff, there's stuff that we need to focus on. But, I mean, if you're looking at it, we were down 21-0, and we brought it back to go to 4 overtimes. There's plenty of positives. Of course, there's stuff that we got to work on to finish the game, and there's stuff we got to work on to make sure we never get in that down 21-0. But I think that game was a big, at least I can't speak on what happened towards the end of the game. At least competing up until that last overtime. I just feel like it's a big testament to like our drive as a team. Like, we were down 21-0. It's very easy to be like you can ask anyone, like, when you're playing Madden and you're down 21-0, you have to give up the sticks. Like, you're done playing. Like, it's human nature, just let up and be down.
Yeah.
But we went in the locker room. We found our momentum. Mind you, we're on the road. You know what I'm saying? They're in the home at a hostile environment, and we came back. Like, obviously we didn't finish the job, and that's what we got to learn. Like, so we're focusing on how to go finish the job and how to not get down 21-0, especially a game like Texas. Texas has a bunch of great athletes and great players and it's not disrespect to Auburn at all, but it's like going down 21-0 with Texas may be harder to bounce back than 21-0 to Auburn. So it's more so like we're just trying to learn how to make sure we don't get there, and if God forbid we do get there, how to finish the comeback.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, definitely. And like you're saying, it is, and I love that he says that.
Yeah.
It's not what is something, it's learning.
Yeah, that's Coach Tony. He says, you don't lose. You either win or you learn.
You either
but
win
you don't
or you
lose.
learn. Yeah, I love that. And even like the positivity aspect of taking the fact that you guys did have a really good comeback, and despite the result, there are things to look at and that count that as a win, but obviously all the rest of it learning. And now this week, I feel like every person on your team has said the mentality has been one game at a time, 1 week at a time, which is what you want within a team culture. But being that you guys knew this game was coming and knew it was the last game of regular season, now that it's here, has there been any shift or even more like excitement by the fact that this is now the game that lies ahead?
Yeah. Especially like, because I remember when it was announced, I think it was this time last year? When it was announced it's going to be played, like instantly, like songs went up like, oh, we were talking about, oh, this is going to be crazy. We're going to break the world record. It's Texas. We've been playing for 13 years. Like, it's just it was a different sense in the air. And you say that, but now it's here. Feel me? And first, it shows you like how fast this game can go by. Because I could have sworn we were just in January doing summer workouts with Moffitt.
No kidding, yeah.
And now we're November, about to get ready for this game. Like, but I think it's more so like the excitement you see is like I was talking about earlier. Like, obviously it's Texas, but and we knew prior, like I said this time last year, we knew it was gonna be a big game, regardless if we were good, they were bad, or if we were, and vice versa. Like, regardless of the records, we knew it was gonna be a big game. But now it's like an even bigger game for us in terms of, because it holds more than just beating Texas. It holds more than bragging rights. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're in playoffs. It's literally win or go home for us. I mean, we got our bowl game for sure, but it's win or go home. And I think all of those layered on top of each other just gives you a sense of like, of drive. Like, I think one thing I really credit this team for, or I credit to Elko, I feel like there's a big competition level. Like, the whole team, we all look to compete. So I feel like this, what's at stake is this pressure for sure. Pressure's a privilege, and it makes us all like hungrier. Like, okay, bet. Like, oh, this is what we got to do. Then okay, bet. And it's like there's a different instinct that switches on and throughout the team, and it's just gonna makes us work harder this week, recover harder, and do everything we can to a different level to just make sure we put out from start to finish like a Texas A&M football game. Because we've had games where we started great, then finished bad, started bad, finished great, in between. But like, this could be the game. Like, this is the game where we get to put it all together and like really show what like this team is about, and this this team leading into the playoffs would look like.
Yeah. And I mean, you hit on it. Obviously, the rivalry in itself is crazy and exciting and was going to give you guys a new sense of motivation anyways. But then add on the fact that this is now whoever wins this spot is making it to SEC championship, going to Atlanta, facing Georgia. I mean, it's that much more important and that much more special. And of course, like, it just, of course, it would happen this way.
It's like it's written. It was written in the story. Like,
yeah, no one could paint a better picture though than this.
Literally.
Like, no one could write a script better than this. This just worked out in A&M
this
and
is
Texas
the perfect
fashion.
stage to be on. Like, for an Aggie fan, like, this is the perfect stage to be on. Like, the chance to make history now, and the only thing that's stopping us from making that history is beating Texas. Like, that's just, like, that's written. That was written by an A&M fan or something, like an A&M alum.
Who's crafting the script? But, I mean, have you noticed I mean, you talked about how it makes, like, the team want to go that much harder. Have you noticed those, like, shifts both mentally and physically in regard to that aspect?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think I first noticed the shift just as the season was going on, because that's one thing I think Coach Elko, but not only Coach Elko, like Torian's a very vocal leader, like try to harp on, like, make you realize what's at stake every game we play. But I think with this week of practice too, like, whether it be how much time guys are putting into film, or how many guys are in the training room getting recovery or prehabbing, like making sure like their body is straight before the game, whether it be I don't know, just the feeling in the air in the meeting rooms, like when Coach Elko speak. And don't get me wrong, like, one thing about it, he's very motivational, but it's like now when you speak, it's like you get that sense like everyone's like locked in, like, and if somebody's not locked in, there's more people making sure they're getting locked in. Like, it's just, there's definitely, there's so much, the accountability factor. Like, I feel like there's just a switch in our mind. Like, obviously we lost against Auburn, but that, thank God, has activated a switch in our heads. Like, okay, it's wake up time. Like, we got to lock in. Like, this is crunch time. This is what is at stake, and we got to go do this. Like, we're trying to go make history.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you personally, you are able to represent the 12th man, wear number 12, your first season wearing number 12, but you get to represent on a stage and with the renewal of the rivalry. Glad I got that one right, because I feel like that was going to be a tongue twister. So glad I made that one through. But how special is it for you that you represent the 12th man, wear number 12 in this rivalry matchup and showdown against Texas?
Like, I think it just, I feel like it just gives me another reason to thank God, like, in my life. Like, this time last year, after Coach Fisher got fired, nobody knew what was gonna happen. And now you're telling me a week later, like, I'm the 12th man, and not only that, I get to lead out an A&M team that's competing for a chance to go to the SEC championship, and then I get to do it playing Texas in front of 130,000 people, representing the whole universe. Like, it's like, whoa, like, the only person you can thank for a scenario like this is God. Like, because this time last year, I'm telling you, I didn't know what my future looked like. Yeah. And I think that puts fear in your heart sometimes, like, not knowing what's happening. But I definitely prayed on it, talked to my mama. I had a good group of homeboys around me, like, I don't know, I'm just, that's the only thing I can say. Like it just gives me another reason to thank God. And, like, I don't know, like, this season has made me realize, like, how much the 12th man really does, just as an Aggie. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I first got here and I first applied, I knew something drew me towards A&M, but I never knew what it was. But after 11 games being the 12th man, I could tell you that, like, I love being an Aggie. And there's just a connection I've built. It's like coming out, hearing all those people cheering, they're cheering for A&M, like, for the Aggies, and we do it different. Like, now we've been in other stadiums. Like, they get loud, but it's just a different vibe when you in Kyle Field. When you coming out that tunnel, like it's something that I feel like is unmatched anywhere and on any level. And like you said, like I get to be the one rocking 12 for this game. Like it's all surreal and it's like, whoa. Like
yeah, the smile on your face started to grow.
yeah, like wow. Like I'm definitely like this gonna be this season. And hopefully, yeah, we're not done yet, of course, but I get to look back on the season one day and tell my kids, like, yeah, like, your pops was the one, the first 12th man to go out there when A&M went and did this, that, the third, like, and I was lucky, like.
Yeah, no kidding. I was actually just thinking that, and for you and yourself, this is something that you will cherish and hold on to and remember for the rest of your life. And I think it's so cool, and you have such a different perspective on it. But for any of your teammates, it's so exciting that that you guys get to experience this renewal in your collegiate career. And for you to be someone who gets to represent the 12th man and wear number 12 makes it even that much more special. And the tradition within it is so cool for you to live out.
Like really. And I think also this game is going to show, I think it's gonna make a bunch of Aggies pop. I think that's one thing. Like we're gonna have, obviously it's gonna be way. I'm telling you, we're gonna break the record for Kyle Field. But it's like when you hear, I'm gonna say what 110, 120, 120,000 people, and they're gonna be Aggies. Like that's when you get to feel like Aggie pride. Like I feel like the team, we're gonna be in that stadium. We're gonna be like, whoa. And I did the first time I ever ran out on Kyle Field. That's what, against Sam Houston 2022. Like, I was like, whoa. You feel me? And that time I was in the back of the pack. This time I get to lead it.
Did you, remember last time you were in here and I was like, you should go practice your run out? Did you ever practice?
I practiced a little bit, but I didn't want to do too much because me, I'm the type of dude, if I overly think about something,
that's fair.
Like I'm gonna make it happen. Like if I'm like, don't trip, I'm probably gonna end up tripping.
Yeah.
But but that's how I know like this game is gonna be a little surreal because like I'm thinking like, like don't trip. But I don't know. I just know this is gonna be a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like just to be in. It's a Saturday night game in Kyle Field. It's gonna be a bunch of Aggies.
College game day. Yeah.
And
Lone Star Showdown. All the things. And you are so right that you get to perform on this stage and perform in this environment in front of the 12th man, which makes it that much more special also to the fan base to be able to see this come to life in Kyle Field. But you, you've been here for a couple years. You now are the 12th man, so different perspective. But truly, like, how much of an impact does it make to play in front of the 12th man, and especially for a game like this?
I don't think the 12th man realizes how much, like, it's literally an extra person on the field. Like, you can look back to LSU and Mizzou alone. Even Alabama last year, 2023, like, and me, I look at it as a defensive football player. Like, when a quarterback is back there and they can't snap the ball, and you can't, like me and you talking right now, if we stand in the middle field, we can't do that. That affects the game in so many ways I don't think people realize. And from that aspect alone, that's all the 12th man. All that cheering, all the yelling, everything, that's all the 12th man. And it plays a factor into how we play. Like, defense already plays off energy. Like I said, I do everything from defense mindset. But we play off energy, but like when you're playing off energy and that same energy is causing the offense to mess up, like, God, it just gets you so hyped and turn, and like that wouldn't be possible without the 12th man. And you can tell, definitely. And I feel like if you can't tell now, after this game, you're gonna tell. But when you play a full game, a packed out game at Kyle Field compared to a packed out game anywhere, there's a difference. It's a significant difference. Like, and the reason for that difference, don't get me wrong, Kyle Field is a large stadium, but the reason for that difference is the 12th man. Like, whether Kyle Field was half his size now or whatever, all those Aggies coming around cheering, that is what causes the Aggie, at least from defense, like, it causes just success throughout the team. Like, the energy, we all just feed off that. So, like,
the spirit alive and well.
It's real. Like, I'm telling you, the 12th man is a real factor. Like, when y'all see them quarterbacks go out there and they can't operate and they're like this and they can't, like, they're covering their ears. That's the 12th man. That's the 12th man doing that when y'all see like offense cheering after a touchdown and everyone yelling and their hype that's the 12th man. The 12th man is feeding into our players. Like, so it may not be like another person on the field, but it's more like energy that's spread out throughout all 11 players on the field at once. But it causes just a different like rush, and you get a vibe. It's just so.
I can only imagine, honestly, like having that many people backing you and supporting you and cheering for you, how special that has to feel, and how good that has to feel to always feel like supported, but that you have so many people buy into the program and university that you get to represent and play for is so special.
Just honor.
Yeah.
That's all. It just makes you realize like you can't take anything for granted. Like, this is a blessing. Like, every day we get to wake up and go do this, and then these are how many people that love what we do. Like, it's always a reminder, like, you're blessed. Like, you're blessed in this life.
Definitely.
And I always bring it back to God, like, because you couldn't tell me I was gonna be here in high school.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I knew I was stubborn. I knew I was gonna be playing football. I just didn't know it was gonna be to this degree. And like, you can't do nothing but thank God, of course. We get thank the 12th man. Like, there's a different energy in Kyle Field, and it's unmatched anywhere. I know that for sure.
Love it. And for you, Nana, and your, experience so far playing at the collegiate level, but then for this year to be a year that you are with a group of guys who has the ability and chance to make history like you've talked about, how special does it feel to be a part of a program like that?
Man, like, I don't know. I try to be more present nowadays because, like, I get to wandering in my thoughts. But, like, this team is so special. I'm not gonna lie. And not even just on what we are able to do, but you could just look from the players. Like I get reminded every day I'm around, like, real NFL talent, like the Nick Scortons, the Shamar Stewarts, Shamar Turners, Cassius Howells. That's just in my position group alone. You feel me? And there's so many names that I could just sit out and list for you of people that I don't even think all the Aggie fans know, like the Rylan Kennedys, DJ Hicks, Malik Silla, Enoch White, Rodas Johnson, Solomon Williams, even my boy Samu. Like, there's just so much talent that I'm around and vibes that, like, that alone makes me realize, like, whoa, this is different. And I came from a high school, like, I was arguably, like, not arguably, I was definitely one of the better players. And we had some like big recruits come through high school, but, like, I'm around that every day. And that's just my position group alone. Like, we can go to the linebackers. We can go to talk about Scooby, Dames, Torian, the DBs, Dez, J Hill, Will, Rat, Dalton, Bryce. And that's just on, that's what I'm saying. And that's just on defense. That's just one side of the ball. Go to offense. Like, there's just so much, like, this team, like, this team makes me thankful to be where I'm at, because I feel like as a walk-on too, sometimes you can question yourself, like, oh, am I able to do this? Because if, like, in high school, you're not offered anything, it's like you have to bet on yourself. And I'm stubborn. Like, nobody's gonna tell me I suck in football. But, like, seeing that I'm able to go out and compete with these dudes every day, like, it gives me a good sense of, like, okay, like, I can do this. You know what I mean? And that's just talking about the next level, but that's something else. But I'm around a great caliber of athletes every day, and we're in a system that I know, and I feel like it may seem hard to say right now because it's Coach Echols' first year, but this system will be producing a lot of NFL talent in the near future. And this is going to be the starting team. It's going to be the foundation of that, because we got the players and we got the system.
Yeah.
You know, and we got the culture. And that's all the three you need right there to go do it. And like I'm saying, like, we're trying to make history.
Yeah.
You know, and just look at everything we've done so far. Not saying that to be, like, cocky or anything, because we still got a bunch we need to do, but looking up to what we've done, we done. I feel like we done changed Aggie football, especially since I've gotten here. Like
Definitely.
like then 22, the football team in 2022 looks real different from now. So there's a lot still that we got to do just for ourselves, just for our own pride to prove it. Like this team, like it's a great team to be on, and I'm just honored to be able to compete with these dudes every day and
Yeah.
call them like my brothers.
It's
So,
a new standard of Aggie football
literally.
that very much so has
Yeah.
formed since Elko's got here. But so pumped up for this weekend. Obviously, I know you are experiencing those emotions
Yeah.
times 10.
Yeah.
But beat the ever living hell out of Texas.
Yeah.
Have so much fun doing it and soak it all up because this is something that you will remember for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So enjoy every moment. And yeah, thank you for coming in. Really
Thank
appreciate
y'all for
it.
having me, man.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Texas Aggies United on TexAgs, sponsored by the 12th Man Foundation. We will see you on the next one.